Welcome back. Today what we're going to do is an introduction to limits review. We are going to review how to solve limits graphically and how to solve limits numerically. 2.1 really is part of it. That was just what it is. So this is really just a 2.2 review. So first thing is, when we went over how to solve limits numerically, we took 4 basic steps. The first thing is we determined what C is. C is whatever x is approaching. Then we found the values that are slightly less than that value by subtracting a thousandth, a hundredth, and a tenth from whatever C was. Then we found the value slightly higher. We added a thousandth, hundredth, and tenth to whatever C was. And step 4 was we plugged in all these C's, okay, subtracted or added just a little bit into the original equation, into our f of x, and it gave us whatever the f of x values would be, okay? You look for the pattern as it is approaching. You look for a pattern as it approaches from the left, okay? If those two numbers seem to be the same, like they're approaching the same number, that is your limit. If these numbers are totally different, the limit doesn't exist, all right? Pretty simple. And how do you tell if a number is approaching something? Well, the number, as you get a lot closer, all right? As you get closer by a value of 10, these will only go up by a value of like a tenth or a hundredth or even a thousandth. So, first 2 questions. Okay. First step though is you always plug C into the equation to see if you get an answer right away. In this case, if we plug 4 in for x, you get the answer of 21. Because you get an answer right away, that's your answer. You do not have to use a table. If you used a table, your answer would be 21. Pretty simple. This one, you plug 0 into the equation right away. 0 minus 3 is a negative 3 over 10. That is an actual number. Don't need the table. Your answer is negative 3 over 10. Negative 0.3. Negative 3 tenths. All right, now, if you end up with a 0 on top, your answer is 0. But if you end up with a 0 in the denominator place, your answer is undefined. That's when you would use your tables. There's your negative 3 tenths. So let's look at problem number 3. Once again, our limit's approaching 0, so we're going to plug in 0 for our x's. And you get 0 divided by 0. Now, 0 divided by any number is 0 except for 0. When you have 0 as the denominator, your answer is undefined. Undefined answer means we need to use our chart. So, there's other ways to do this, but right now we're just using the chart. I take a number slightly less by a thousandth, subtract negative a hundredth and negative a tenth. Positive a thousandth, positive a hundred, positive a tenth. Right? If you want to make more, you can. Okay, 3 seems to be enough for me. If you want to go 10,000th, that you can see even a better trend, you can. You're going to take all these numbers and you plug them into that equation. Now, on your calculator, I'll just do the first one with you. Make sure, once again, calculator work is the key. Your numerator is in parentheses. So negative 2 times negative 0.1 in parentheses divided by negative 0.1 or 0.1. And you get negative 2 here. Type this into the equation, you get negative 2. Type this and you get negative 2. When you typed all 3 of these in, so that's approaching negative 2 from the left, these 3 also all give you negative 2. So you're approaching negative 2 from the right. These 2 numbers are the same, therefore the limit approaches the same number from the left and the right side. Your answer is negative 2. Got it? Awesome. All right, let's plug in negative 4 into our equation and see if we can get this one done easy. Guess what? 16 plus 20 minus 36, negative 4 plus 4. 0 over 0 is undefined. Gonna have to make a table. So let's make our table right here. Way to make the table is subtract a thousandth, a hundredth, a tenth. Negative 4 and a thousandth, negative 4 and a hundredth, negative 4 and a tenth. Notice these aren't 3.999, negative 3.99, 3.9, because when you take a negative number and you subtract a number from it, the number actually gets, the absolute value of the number actually gets larger. You're going to take these numbers now and add, so it's backwards. Negative 3 and 999,000, negative 3 and 9900, negative 3 and 9 tenths. All right? Does it matter what side you put the stuff on? Yes, because you're going from the left side is from the negative side, and the right side is from the right side. If you switch these two, It'd be like switching the graph, and you can't switch the axes of the x of a graph. Will you get the same answer? Well, yeah, technically you will, but this is just the proper way to do it. Less than on the right, greater than on the left. So we're going to take all these and we're going to plug them into this equation. Now the way to do this is, since you're dealing with the negative, you have to put open parentheses a second time, put negative 4.1, close parentheses squared in there. That will make this answer positive. If you don't put the negative 4.1 in parentheses, your answer will be wrong. Minus 5 times negative 4.1 minus 36. The reason I put this in parentheses is because I'm not raising it to any power. Close the parentheses for the numerator, divided by open parentheses for the denominator, negative 4.1 plus 4, close parentheses. I always personally write down what I'm going to put on my calculator just so I don't make the mistake. I suggest you doing the same. No, you don't have to. You can also make this positive when you square it because you know it automatically becomes positive. You can change the signs as you know it. You can just divide by negative 0.1 if you want, but doing that stuff in your head tends to give you some problems. Anyway, typing these three things in, negative 13 and a tenth, negative 13 and a hundredth, and negative 13 and a thousandth. So what are you approaching here? Negative 13. The next one would probably be negative 13.0001, right? All right. Take these three, plug them into that same equation. You already did it. Negative 12, 999,000, negative 12.99, negative 12.9. Still approaching negative 13. Both answers are the same, so your answer is negative 13. That's it. All right, let's look at 5 and 6. Now, 5 is a conjugate. We don't have to worry about that now. In 2.3, the next chapter, we will be worrying about that. But as of now, all we need to know to solve this is a table. And all these problems can be solved a lot easier if you use analytical method, but I haven't taught you that yet, nor do I want you to use it yet. I want you to be comfortable with using every method before you move on. Type in a negative 3 into this equation. 1 minus negative 3 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0 divided by 0. Anything divided by 0 is undefined. Right? Because negative 3 plus 3 is 0. All right, right here. Negative 3 and 1,000, 10th, and, oh, sorry, 100th, 10th. Negative 2 and 999,000, 9900th, and 9/10. When you type these into the calculator, try it, see if you get it right. Open parentheses for the numerator, right? Radical, open parentheses, 1 minus, open parentheses, negative 1, 3.1, close parentheses. If you want to just make this a plus, you can. Close parentheses for the radical, minus 2, close parentheses for the numerator, plus negative, open parentheses, negative 3.1, plus 3, close parentheses for the denominator. Okay, once again, you have to have parentheses open for the denominator, parentheses open inside the radical, and then parentheses for when you use the negative number. As the answers, so say, drum roll, you should have got negative 2.48, negative 2.498, negative 2.4998. So what does it look like it's going towards? I'm seeing a negative 2.5. Hopefully you did too. All right, let's look at the side. Same thing, negative 2.5. Notice this is like subtracting a 100,000. This is like a little bit, well, I'm sorry, a little bit more 200,000, a little bit less 200,000. Both approaching negative 2.5, and as a fraction that is negative 1/4. Where'd you go? Oh, I didn't put it up there. Negative 1/4. All right, this one right here, we have 6. Plug it in, you end up with 6. 6 squared, 6, you got 6. This is all that matters, the 6 minus 6 on the bottom. 0 divided by 0 is undefined. 5 and 999,000, 5 and 9,900, 5.9. And add 1,000, add 100, add 10. When you plug this into the equation, because these are positive, you don't need to use them in equations when you're raising them to power. Open parenthesis, all you really need for is the numerator and denominator. 5.9 caret 3 minus 6 times 5.9 squared button minus 6 times 5.9 plus 216 close parentheses for your numerator divided by open parentheses 5.9 minus 6 close parentheses. So you need your parentheses for your numerator and your denominator. Hopefully at least you know how to use a calculator, right? Type these into here, and you should get negative 1.19, negative 0.1199, negative 0.011. Oh, so what's going on here? What's this approaching? Every time this 119 is sliding over, sliding over, sliding over. So what do you think it's approaching? The next one, there's probably another 0 in here, then another 0, 0, 0, 0. So it's actually approaching 0. Type these in the equation. 1.12, 0.012, 0.012. Next one would probably be 0.0012, 0.00012. That's also approaching 0. Answer is, all that work to get is 0. All right. Any questions? No questions? Always good when there's no questions. Guess you can't ask a question if you're on a video, right? You can raise your hand. Yep, you. Oh, gotta email me. All right. Let's go to the next section. How to find limits graphically. We did the slide already, so just a quick little review. When you find a limit from the left side, limit of 3, these numbers right here represent the number on the x-axis. Your answers represent the number on the y-axis. When you find it from the negative side is over here. Positive side is over here. So 3 from the negative means you're coming from the side and you're approaching 3. Answer is 4. Negative 3, or sorry, 3 from the positive. You're approaching 3 from the positive side. Answer is 4. Since they both approach the same number, your limit is 4. All right. F of 3 means where is the closed circle at? What is the actual value at 3? At 3, your actual value is 4. All right. Same thing over here. 2 from the negative, come to the negative, approaching 2. This is 2 right here. So as you approach from the negative, the purple, 2. Even though the answer is undefined at 2, you're approaching 2. As you approach the positive, you're approaching 2. Because these are both the same, your answer is 2. The actual value at 2, open circle, means it's a whole, means it's undefined. 2 from the negative side. Here's 2 once again. As you approach from the negative side, you're approaching 1. As you approach from the positive side, 4. These numbers are not the same. Therefore, the graph is not continuous. They would have to be connected to be continuous. Therefore, the limit does not exist. All right? Right here, f of 2 equals 0. Because there's 2 open holes, there's no solid points on the actual 2. The answer is undefined. All right? Let's do the last one. 4, 3 from the negative. Here's 3 right here. As you approach from the negative, look at the purple. 2. As you approach from the positive, look at the red. 5. Because these two graphs are not touching, they're not continuous, therefore they do not exist. F of 3 is 5 because even though there's 2 circles here, open circle means there's no actual value here, but closed circle means there is, and the answer is 5. Now, if you had a closed circle in both of these, it's not possible because it wouldn't be a function. You can't have 2 y values for x's. All right? Got it? Awesome. Let's get into some problems. Almost done already. This is a quick and easy review. The limit of f of x as x approaches negative 4. Negative 4. So since it's approaching negative 4, there is no plus or minus here. They both have to be the same. They both happen to be 2. Good. Number 8, f of 1. So what is the actual value at 1? There's a closed circle right there. And the answer is 4. Pretty easy. Limit of 1 from the negative side. So once again, this is where 1 is. You're coming from the negative side. This is the negative side. This is the positive. So you trace this whole entire thing here until you get here. And this value is 4. Pretty easy, right? F of negative 4. Oh, I already put the answer there. F of negative 4. What is the actual value at negative 4? Here's negative 4. Because there is no solid line or no closed circle running through it, the answer is undefined. The limit of f of x as x approaches 6. All right, so let's look for 6 on the graph. 6 on the graph is right here. You approach from the left and the right. They do indeed approach the same point. And that point, you go right there is 5. Got it? Boom. Limit of f of x as x approaches 6 from the positive. So as I'm approaching 6 from the positive, we already said the answer. 5. That was easy. F of 6. So even though the limit is at 5, right? Where's the closed circle? 2. And the limit of f of x as x approaches 1. As it approaches 1 from the left, the answer is 4. As it approaches 1 from the right, the answer is -2. Do these numbers be the same? That's terrible grammar. Are these numbers the same? No, they are not. They do not approach the same number. 4 is not the same as -2. So the limit does not exist. Boom. Last one. Ready? Numbers 15 through 22. All right. Limit of x approaches -1. There's -1. -1. We want the limit. From the left and the right, they both approach the same number. That number happens to be 2. F of 0. What is the actual value at 0? Now, there's no actual circles here or closed circles here. But if you look back, there's a line passing right through there. Because that line is solid, that means it's pretty much an infinite number of points, right? So the point at 0 is 2. The limit of -1 from the negative side. So once again, negative side over here. As you approach -1 from the negative side, we said it before, the limit is 2. Right. F of -1. What is the actual value at -1? Right there. What is that? It's 4. The limit of f of x as x approaches 5. 5 is right here. So even though there's no closed or open circle, because it's a line, technically that's the circle. Does it approach the same from the left and the right? It does. It approaches 0. The limit of f of x as x approaches 3 from the positive side. 3 from the positive side is 6. Wait. Oh, 3 from the negative side, gotcha, is 6. 3 from the positive side is 2. Got myself. Where's the closed circle at? F of 3 is also 2. A lot of 2's here, right? And the actual limit of 3, because these two limits do not approach the same number, does not exist. There you go. And that, in a nutshell, my dear friends, my dear students, who are my friends, is the introduction to limits review. All right, so now hopefully you can solve limits graphically, you can solve limits numerically, you do excellent on your test when you take it, and that's it.